Time now for the school report. Today we welcome Lori Frerk to the studio, the superintendent of the Arcadia School District, brought to you by Poppy Bus Service. The school report starts right now.
That's right, it's Friday. We're in trouble because the superintendent's here. No. Joined by Lori.
Go to the superintendent's office, right?
yeah, going to the superintendent's office. You know you're really in trouble if you get sent there.
And just to be honest, I was sent to the principal's office when I was a kid too. So what the heck, right?
Yep.
We all do it.
Yep, I knew mine very well also. Good morning, Lori. How are you?
Good morning. Awesome, and we're doing awesome.
Yeah.
It's been a great day so far. So
yeah, it's feeling. I keep saying this when people get mad at me, but it's feeling a little more like fall's getting closer.
Well, I think my husband's happy because he's starting to put in the food plots and that for the land that we purchased, and that's so that we can actually hunt down here this year. So.
Yeah. Oh, good deal. So you got some land, you got some house. You're a permanent resident.
That's what we are now. Yes. I mean, we still have a cabin and different things on the other side of the state, but a little bit north of Crivets and so forth. So we still have that, and so haven't visited that as much this year.
Yeah.
But between my husband and I, we're just deciding: do we Airbnb it or do we sell it as we're going through? So, but we have some time because, of course, my son, who's on that side of the state, decided to get a bear tag, so we have to help bear bait and everything else for him. So,
good deal. Well, you need those places like that. You need to get some rest and relaxation. It can't be work all the time, right?
No, but this summer has been a little bit of work because of kind of the position that we've been placed in and overall. So. Just trying to straighten that and right the track of the district itself.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's going to be a problem for all the school districts. There's going to be some problems coming up. So. Yeah,
so I haven't heard a superintendent yet that has been happy with the state biennial budget.
Yeah.
I don't believe the taxpayers are going to be happy either because that. We did have an increase in our student rate for our pieces, that $325.
Yeah.
However, that $325 increase is going to be on the backs of the taxpayers because the state decided not to put any more money into that fund for that process. So when you're looking at your levies, you're going to look at an increase in those levies overall.
Yeah, and people won't be happy with that, but what can you do?
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And I know that, the governor thinks that he's really super proud of that it's all about kids, and it really isn't. I think they could have done a much better job, even by doing a much better job, but still helping the taxpayers overall to do that. When it comes to the special education fund, it's going to go up to 42.5%. Again, that is not a sum sufficient fund.
Yeah.
So sum sufficient means that there's enough money for everybody in the state at 42.5%. No, there's one pile, and then everybody's going to put into that. So we're looking at, again, probably around 39% going to be paid back to the districts itself.
Okay, yeah.
Overall.
Yeah.
I mean, is that an increase? It is an increase. But when you're talking about mandates of special education and different things, cost of the PT and OT individuals to help and so forth, speech therapists, all that stuff, those costs are going up just like anything else.
Yeah.
And then we're mandated to do it, and here we go.
Yep.
So those are the things that we're doing. But when I look at our Arcadia budget and so forth, we've been able to manage some things. I'm trying to figure out, did we cut way too much and where we're going to have some challenges because of that cut? But we're being able to balance it, and hopefully within this next year that in the Arcadia School District itself, I can right the ship and start beginning to actually add to the fund balance.
Yeah.
However, that hurts too because we don't have any funds right now if something were to go bad.
Yeah.
So if I lose a bus, I don't have that $150,000 to actually purchase a new bus.
Yeah, so it's kind of like just cross your fingers and hope that nothing bad happens, or like an air conditioning unit goes out or something like that.
Correct.
Those things to put the crunch on it.
Correct, and those are the pieces of why the school districts themselves need those fund balances. So because you have to be protective, very much like yourself in your homes. Yep, you should have a fund, a safety fund in case something happens. I get it. Most of us don't have that, especially when we're young and we're just starting out. And I understand that, but there, you got to look at those things and how does that happen within the school district overall.
Yeah, yep. And speaking of the school district, I know it's getting closer to school starting. So have you done your
through July? Yes.
Yep. Have you done your summer school already?
Yep. Summer school is done. So most of our summer school is done in June. And so that by the end of June, we still have some pieces of that because we do swim lessons in that for
Okay.
Arcadia students.
So the fun stuff.
The fun stuff is there, and that's a great thing for kids.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody thinks that we should just be doing the reading and the mathematics and so forth, but you got to bring in some things that are exploratory for kids. So that venture and that piece of them wanting to keep coming back and learning different things, you can incorporate the math and you can incorporate the reading into that. Right now, it's mostly on the shoulders of our custodial and facilities crews.
Okay.
This is their time to shine, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're pulling out everything from the rooms, and they're making those classroom floors, all the waxing, taking the wax off, putting it on, and they're just going to give us the best show for when our students come back and our parents come back. And this is their time. And so kudos to them, because I don't think people realize how much those facility workers actually do for the betterment of our district overall.
Yeah.
So
they're the kind of people who kind of work in the shadows there.
right, and so that's kind of been the piece for us. I had our facilities director actually leave in May, and because of our funds and so forth, I'm the facilities director as well as the superintendent. Right.
Okay.
So that's my call, is making sure that we end up having enough custodial people and so forth, and we've been hiring through the summer. So my team itself has actually been doing this a little bit short, but they're doing a stand-up job of getting everything done, and so I'm pretty proud of them of doing that stuff. And they have to have it done a little bit earlier, because we end up having the Ashley people coming in. So we have the Ashley domination coming in early in August, so they have to have those things done, which then runs right into the Ashley for the arts. So we kind of prepare that for them, and we help and support them in that.
Yeah, that's great. And speaking of staff down there, do you have any staffing issues right now? Are you looking for anyone, or are you guys pretty well?
We actually have been very lucky overall. We've had staff that have retired and staff that have moved. Either they've moved to another district. Most of those reasons are getting closer to where they're living and different things like that, or closer to their home.
Yeah.
And we've been lucky that we've been able to hire in those positions. Some of them are going to be brand new in those positions. Some are going to need the extra support. The hardest positions to actually fill are going to be our special ed positions. But we've been lucky. We are going to hire a brand new person for special education.
Okay.
They're not going to have that certification, so we're going to help support them get that certification.
Yep.
That's what every school district is pretty much in. We've been lucky where we've had individuals that have left our district in the last 2 to 3 years, and they actually are returning because they found out that maybe the grass is not always greener in someone else's district, and they actually enjoyed the culture, the learning with the students and so forth, so they've come back. I think our biggest piece right now is what we're looking at is our paraprofessional line. But I've talked to our director yesterday, and she's lined up 5 interviews for next week so that we can have some pieces to that puzzle. Those are the individuals that really are challenged overall. And my hope is with the new budget coming in, I'm trying to increase the pay in that area. And because we have too many, it's more of a revolving door in that position. So sometimes they come in for about 4 months and then they leave. And that's really hard because those paraprofessionals are either working with our special needs students overall or our EL students. And that consistency with them is really important. But we do have a large core of paraprofessionals that come back every year and do an excellent job with students. So lucky for us, we've been able to find individuals overall. I'm not sure that every district has that, but I'm hoping that they do also, because we need to be there for our kids. The heartbeat of your town is basically your school.
Yeah, it is.
And we're looking at that too. I met with the board this week about, we did our summer retreat. We talked a little bit about our strategic plan that we have. We have to look at our strategic plan because it really hasn't, it's been adopted and so forth about 7 years ago, but it really hasn't been looked at. And within our meeting, I talked to the board that it really shouldn't be them changing the strategic plan. So I'm going to be in the next couple months working with my administrative team and working possibly with another agency so that we can bring in 25 to 30 community members and have them help us and decide what does an Arcadia student and a graduate look like as they exit our school system. What do we want for our students? How do we help our community as a whole? Because they're the heartbeat of the community. So it shouldn't just be decided by the superintendent and 7 board members, but it should be dependent on our businesses, our community members, and so forth. Bring them in. How does that look, and what do you want us to be able to do, and how do we venture? Because that strategic plan then, that moves us into our goals for the year.
Yeah, and bringing in some of those outside people like that, sometimes you get a perspective that you might not get out, just from the people who are on the inside.
Correct. It's interesting is because coming in last year and kind of looking through faces, a lot of people are like, it is just nice to have fresh eyes on the process.
Yeah.
And when you have fresh eyes on the process, you provide them that. You don't just say, you should do it this way. What you do is you start talking about, why have you done it this way? And then you provide some other pieces and then come up with a compromise overall. You only wish that the politicians would do the same thing, right?
Yes.
There's people on each side, they have different viewpoints, but talk to one another, come up with that compromise, and come up to a better solution, because what we're here for is we're here for our students, and we're here for our kids and our community.
Yeah.
And how can we make that even better for them?
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess school starts pretty. When is your first day of school? I know I keep.
So we do those early days, those transition days. So that early August part.
That's coming.
Yes, it's coming, and our staff members really do begin to start coming in around August 18th and so forth, and start getting ready for that.
Yeah.
They have that 190-day contract, so there's days ahead of time. There's days through the year as they're going through. So those things are coming. We're starting to prepare for that. Our administrative team is trying to take out the vacations that they can. So because you're doing those things, I look for that as much as I can also, but sometimes it's challenging because you have to get some things done. Yeah. But it'll come faster, and then we know it. And sometimes I think then the parents out there are like, "Oh, thank goodness it's coming." They want to kind of push the kids out, which is great too, because remember, around August 1st, you're going to also have football practices going to begin, bringing that process in. The next following weeks, you're going to have the volleyball practices. Not that they're not doing it already. But they're still doing those pieces, which the WIA opened that up for our coaches to do those pieces in the summer. They were doing it anyway. Stop hiding behind that. Just allow that to happen. So that's a good thing for them. So to be active and get, like what we were talking about before, get away from that phone, get away from that digital piece, get out there and have some fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, do you have anything else you want to cover before we go today?
Oh no, but everybody should go to the fair, right?
Yep, everyone comes out to the fair. Yep. I'll be out there 2 to 5 today, so come find me in the merchant building. Hopefully there'll be more tables behind me.
Hopefully I've got all those crafts and pieces out there.
It's a lot funner. I've been there. I've been feeling lonely the last couple of days sitting out there, but we've had some people stop by and sign up to win. So come on out to that. And we've been speaking with Lori Frerk here this morning, and we're going to jump back into the music after this. But thanks for joining me, Lori.
Awesome.
Feeling better is about feeling all kinds of things. You want to feel healthy.
Are the deer still getting in your way? Schneider Automotive and Collision Center